The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico de Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore the return to a more natural, balanced, wild world.
That's right, Nico. I'm Paige Clarke, and this is where we recover our natural health and we regain our rights and our freedoms.
That would be nice.
That's exactly right.
And it's a beautiful morning in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida. It's 77 degrees and kind of clear and kind of cloudy. We're doing pretty good compared to
a lot of the other places. That's absolutely
So if you're up in
right.
the Carolinas, get ready. You need to leave if you're on the Barrier Islands, and I'd get out of town.
That's right.
I mean, if it was coming my way.
Don't mess around. In fact, September, the whole month, the president said it's preparation month.
Yeah.
And if you're not already prepared, it's kind of a wake-up call.
Yeah, and you do need to be prepared, and probably inland too. This thing could be hanging around, kind of like I think last year we had a hurricane around Houston that kind of just sat there and sat there for a few days.
Yeah, it's amazing what they do with those things.
So,
make sure you pick up our Health Signals newsletter.
Indeed.
You get 2 issues twice a month. News you can use with great clickable links that really take you to the cutting edge in being healthy today.
Yeah, I wanted to mention this. There's a great article in here about the Biomedic. And of course, Biomedic is the only product that we know of right now that takes out the glyphosate.
That's exactly right. The only patented product to date that has been clinically proven to do that, and as a result also lowers chronic inflammation.
Yeah, and this is by Adler Brook. Who makes a nice case for it, and also there's some clickable links in here to the site so you can get your discount. Of course, we have the rest of it here, and we have the product catalog, and I'd encourage you to research some of this. The CBD oils here are fantastic, and the Biomedic is a fantastic product, so I highly recommend it.
We're so thrilled. Nico and I are thrilled to be able to partner with a company that is offering our listeners $50 off to try their products.
Yeah.
And so grab that issue and get caught up to date and take advantage of it.
Yeah, and then the other thing, of course, is pick up our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder. It has the same type of ingredients in it, the signaling ingredients.
Sounds like we knew what we were doing.
Well, somebody definitely put us in the right direction, let's say.
Exactly.
The fulvic and humic acid is huge in these products because that's what signals your body to take the good stuff in.
And get the bad stuff out.
Indeed it is.
And if you're up and at it, give us a call. It's 877-927-6648. And I just want to remind you guys, before I make an announcement, I'm working hard to enunciate, but many of you know that I am undergoing a interior growth guidance appliance in my mouth and correcting TMJ and working on airway expansion and creating more tongue space. And I'm going to be bringing some really interesting information about what I believe this is an epidemic of people not being able to breathe.
Yeah.
And I'm had it in now 2 weeks today.
Well, the first thing I noticed, Paige, is that you're sitting differently even. Your head is in a different position.
Wise people will tell you that what happens in our bodies happens between our head and our clavicle, so that the teeth are very much involved. And I saw my neuromuscular therapist, Mark Calandro, and he was blown away with the way my whole musculoskeletal system is responding to this. And the story is very interesting. We'll have to do a whole show on this research, but we have millions of people that are having sleep-disordered breathing, sleep apnea, which is a very serious thing, and other pains and musculoskeletal issues and other health effects that snowball from that.
And they may not even know the cause.
They have no idea, and really it's kind of all happening right in here.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
And I have Dr. Clark Walters, chiropractor in my office, who really specializes on cranial work. Again, the idea that really most of what affects our whole body is happening between the top of our head and our clavicle.
Makes sense to me.
But I also want to bring it to everyone's attention that tomorrow's a special day.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And tomorrow is Nico's birthday.
74 years.
74 years young, and I mean that, Nico.
Well, I was reading an article just yesterday, and it was talking about the percentage of people that either feel their age or, feel older or feel younger. And it's 13% of the population right now in America is saying that they feel about 20 years younger or more.
Don't we wish it was a higher percentage, though?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a huge percentage compared to where we were maybe 20 years ago or even 50 years ago. But so people are, the people that are healthy at this age tend to stay healthy because that's what's got them there. And they're not miserable anymore, and they're not afflicted with one of the 7 major diseases.
Well, I think that's a great story with you. I think you would probably say that you feel better than you did 20 years ago when you were having the gut issues.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, everything in the last decade has changed for me. I think I look better, I feel better, I have a better glow about me.
I mean, you move like someone 20, 30, 40 years younger than you. So that's amazing.
Well, I think that jiu-jitsu has something to do with that, too. But, it's all connected, folks, and it's good to feel good, especially when you're in your 70s and going into the 80s and stuff. So,
well, happy birthday. Hey, we just got a wave. We've got a caller on the line. We have Pat from the Villages, Florida, wants to talk about post-electromagnetic fields. Hi, Pat.
Let's do it.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing great.
They call it PMF, pulse electromagnetic fields. Didn't you do a show on that?
Yeah, we sure did. And there are good electromagnetic fields, and then there are those that are not good for us. The sun produces natural ones, and there are some medical devices that deliver healthy pulse electromagnetic fields that help the body get back into its natural electric rhythm. What we're worried about a lot is we're being bombarded with the rolling out of these new high-powered cell towers. But Pat, tell me what you're thinking, what your question is.
Well, we're looking to get a unit, and my husband tried the Beamer for a month, and he liked it, but I did we did a lot of research and looked at other units and everything, and I saw this IMRS 2000, and that one seemed like it did more. It seemed like a better unit, better constructed, and
well,
I wondered what your thoughts were on any particular type of unit.
Yeah, I hear you, Pat, and specific products. I actually am a Beamer distributor, and I know the background between the Beamer and the IMF, and I would really seriously love to talk to you, perhaps offline. Send me an email, and we'll connect, and I will help you make the right choice for you. I have a Beamer, and that's what I recommend for family members, and it's the more powerful is not necessarily better when it comes to the human nervous system. Well, I mean,
I realize that.
Yeah, and certain organizations wouldn't be choosing the Beamer to move forward on, but I'll be glad to deal with you on that for sure. You can contact me, and we'll have a phone chat, and I'll point you in the right direction.
Thanks for the call. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat.
Hi, Pat. We'll be right back, folks. Stick around. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back to the show, folks. I want to shift a little bit from the electromagnetic thing, which is really important, of course, and I suggest Pat give you a call or send an
in fact,
email.
I may actually do a show on the Beamer and these devices, too. I think it'd be interesting.
I use it, and
Yeah.
I have had good success with
Very
it, for
good.
sure. On the telestrator right now, I've got a company called Applestone Meat Company, and they're rolling out these vending machines.
The Applestone Meat Company, a New York State meat maven, I love that word, is rolling out a midnight snacking meat eater's dream come true. 24 hours a day meat vending machines.
Yeah, Joshua Applestone, who's the co-founder of this high-end whole animal movement, sparkling Fletcher's Craft Butchery in 2004, before selling it in 2013. It has retail locations in Brooklyn and the Upper East Side, as well as the Tony, Connecticut towns of Greenwich and Westport. It's looking forward to innovative meat buying with his follow-up venture, the Applestone Meat Company.
Well, I mean, think about it. Why shouldn't we have access to good quality animal products? I'm not sure that most of the things available in today's vending machines really even qualify as food.
Well, that's for sure.
I call them frankenfood.
Yeah, definitely.
I say this is a healthier choice.
This may be the first one, the first healthy choice out of the vending
Aiming
machine.
for better accessibility and affordability for fresh-cut steaks, chops, ground beef, sausages, and the like, Applestone is launching a line of 24/7 meat vending machines so customers, especially busy millennials, can buy meat whatever works for them. You know, I like that because I think many of our millennials are being swayed by this whole movement that's taking us away from the acceptance, shaming people into eating meat products.
That seems to be the idea.
There's a movie coming out, Nico, called The End of Meat.
Well, I mean...
That might be the end of us.
That's a great possibility. Well, we're going to be talking through the whole segment about the future of food, for sure. The idea came to Applestone while trying to figure out a way to easily and effectively sell meat to customers at his minimally staffed meat processing location in Stone Ridge, New York. That's not far from Woodstock. Inspired in part by an old New York City automats where the few coins provide access to lunches, and you can see through these little devices and their climate-controlled compartments. He installed 4 meat vending machines, one stocked with beef, one with lamb, one with pork, and one with ground meat and sausage in the company's main locations.
They say right now they only house about 150 items, but they're expanding the design to handle up to 1,000 items.
Yeah, you'd have to definitely change it because these things are a little bulkier. Of course, the environment that they're kept in is hugely important for the meat. You can't have that thing, thawing things out. I don't know if it's frozen, it's fresh. I don't know if it says on here or not. But
The creator says, this is going to be like getting your first iPhone, except meatier.
is that what he says?
Interesting.
Yeah, these machines have been such a hit, needling, constant restocking, that Applestone is planning that bigger machine, just like you said.
Yeah,
So the next
that
version
really
will be
does. That
smoother.
really does bring up the question: what is the future of food, right, Nico?
That is exactly the question, and that's the question I'm looking at
Because
right
there's
now.
definitely a divide. Meat's good, meat's bad, and boy, are people really. It's interesting. I feel that the people who believe eating meat products is not a good choice get very angry about people who choose to do differently. It's a concern.
I don't know why they would get angry. It's kind of like the people who don't get the shot for measles. And people are getting mad at them because you didn't get the shot. Well, I got the shot. You should be all right.
All right, so let's go into the future, Nico. Here's an article written in Fast Company. It's the year 2038, and here's how we'll be eating 20 years into the future. This is kind of scary, isn't it?
Well, before 1928, no one had tasted bubble gum. In the 1930s, frozen cream desserts threw off their reputation by being hard as a rock, and there was an invention of the soft-serve ice cream called Mr. Whippy. Remember when that came out? I don't remember when it came out, but I remember the first time I tasted it, and that was in the 50s. I remember I was living in London, and there was a little soft frozen dessert place almost next to our house. It was like on the corner, and we would walk on the corner. It'd be kind of like a weekly treat. Turned out to be a daily treat after a while, but these things are definitely something that, the different flavors that were enhanced by the ice cream being soft and the ease of consuming it really made that. Popping candy was introduced also about 20 years later. In the 1990s, Red Bull showcased the strange medicinal flavor that's been synonymous with the energy drinks. That medicinal flavor is kind of a coffee taste and chocolate taste, I think. So what would the future of food look like? Paige, we've been talking endlessly about the GMOs and things being changed. Of course, when we look at just the fruit and the vegetables that have changed over the last maybe 1,000 or more years, we know that the banana has nothing looked like the original banana. It was probably 2 or 3 inches. Corn was not a sweet corn.
It was a little tiny thing, too.
Yeah, those were little, and there was all kinds of stalks.
So even the food that we think is natural food today is much different than what our ancestors ate.
Yeah, and even the meat.
Yeah.
The meat, largely we ate from wild animals, and that's
the American Indian laughed at the white man that he would eat a domestic cow.
That's right.
Why would you want to eat something that has that kind of energy when you can have something that has the energy of a buffalo?
See, and they're looking at food completely different. When you're talking about energy, looking at the animal, you're looking at it completely different than we're looking at it.
Exactly, and this article says in 2028, food will be tailored to your genome. Well, let me tell you what I think about that. We're barking up the wrong tree. The nuclear genome does not really affect our ability to prevent disease. It's the mitochondrial genome. I've learned enough from Jack Kruse that it is the mitochondrial DNA, which we inherit only from our mothers, and that's for the energy centers in our cells. And that is the DNA that responds to the environment and expresses what we have. So this will be a big moneymaker, but it ain't going to work. I don't
know. There's something has to be done. We know that during hard times, when the wheat is harvested, it has less protein than when there's good times. We know that in the fall, the animals are eating grass that is brown instead of green. So the nutrition...
if they can even get to grass. There might be snow on the ground.
Yeah, and they have to paw for it. Maybe they're fed hay, which is good. But
well, according to T.S. Wiley, if you do well in the summer and you eat the fruit that's designed to make you fat, you create a fat layer and you hibernate.
Yeah.
And you really don't eat a lot in the winter.
Right,
The
exactly.
winter should not be a time of feasting.
Right.
And yet, when are all of our holidays? Thanksgiving and Christmas.
When we're feasting.
Yeah, I mean,
It's completely backwards, folks.
It's completely backwards. I think we should postpone.
Christmas in
how
the
we have
summer.
Christmas in July. Let's
Yeah.
move Christmas and Thanksgiving up to June and July and say, hey, that's when we need to.
But that's when I go on vacation, so I guess it's a vacation for both. But the thing I wanted to bring up here, of course, when the wheat and a lot of wheat and corn and stuff like that is used as animal feed, and we know that animal feed generally is a much lower quality. So not only is we're getting wheat that has less protein in it, and we're going to have to substitute for that, but now the animals are getting that too.
Yeah.
So the animals are getting sicker and sicker. So no matter what we do, when we domesticate, we make it worse.
That's right. We'll be right back.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. So we're talking about the future of the food that we're eating. Now, natural is a buzz term food marketers love to use, but barely any of our current produce ever existed in the natural world. The fruit and vegetables that we enjoy today have been selectively bred over thousands of years, often mutated out of the recognition from the original wild crop. Carrots weren't originally orange.
They were actually scrawny and white, and peaches once resembled cherries and tasted salty.
Yep.
Watermelons were little tiny, round, hard, and bitter. And, we had all kinds of fruits that really do not appear. So we have hybridized things. It's become like a
Selective breeding.
Frankenstein.
Yes,
Like a Frankenstein.
selective breeding. And we do this with flowers. Of course, in Holland, we do this with the tulips, and they have all different colors and strains. So we know how to do this stuff, and I think just changing the fruit itself, we always change it towards our taste palette of wanting things sweeter.
Well, and a lot of it has to do with the change in the way the human body looks. We know that there was not this, smorgasbord of fruits, packaged goods for sure, but not even fruit. Fruit was seasonal.
Yeah.
Fruit comes out in the summer. It's the highest sugar. It's designed to add body fat.
Well, there are fruits that come in the winter too, but in tropics, of course.
Right, but
Yeah.
I'm saying in the cold or the winter, right?
Selectively, like if I'm in Ontario, Canada, where I was raised, there would
You're not
be-
going to find a banana in the
We're
winter.
not going to find a banana or any tropical fruit. What you will find is things like the vegetables, like the fruits, apples. Lots of different kind of apples, which
But
really
they're not
aren't.
there in the winter.
But they're not even natural to North
Right.
America too. So they were
Exactly.
brought in. So there's not a lot of natural fruit, but mostly I think of berries and things like that up in Canada, which are small and tart. And
Question is, do you want to skew your eating to where you came from or where you are?
where you are would make more sense, wouldn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
With a eye towards, because when I had a consult with Jack Cruz, after he knew what my haplotype was, and that has a lot to do with your genetics, he goes, then light is very important to you. So
So how did he figure that out?
because I had a DNA swab test,
okay.
and that's the number you have.
Oh,
And
okay.
see, for you, I think cold and light would be very important too. Cold is important,
Yeah,
and
I
yet
feel
we're
very
living in
cold.
Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, you're from Holland. So cold thermogenesis would be very good to the health of your mitochondria.
Yeah, and that seems to work really well for me. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, by 2028, genetics and biomolecular science should have addressed the balance. So the DNA from one organism is inserted into another, eliminating the need to undertake generations of selective breeding. So this is the new process. We used to just breed these things, each generation a little different. Now we can actually just pop it in there.
I think it's important that people understand there is a difference between selective breeding and hybridization and genetically modified.
I think so, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, actually, I was listening to a video. Not all of the hybridization is a bad thing. If you believe that we need to satisfy our every whim to have whatever we want all year long.
Good way of putting
but
it.
in reality, maybe we shouldn't be hybridizing these things. Even worse, genetically modifying them. Maybe we shouldn't have them if they're not in season. And that's my belief
Well,
now.
there's another thing, too. Maybe we should be paying attention to the way nature is naturally doing that anyway.
Exactly.
Because this is the way the process works. And if we're involved in that process, it just makes a lot more sense that we would come out better.
Nature crossbreeds. When you stop and you think about it, a bee goes to one flower, the pollen from that flower perhaps goes over to another flower. So there's some things that are happening in nature. But what I do think is that this demand we have for having anything we want at our fingertips is not natural to the body.
Well, it's also the kind of unintended consequence thing that always seems to come up when we see these movies about making a snake larger or smaller or more poisonous and, all these genetically modified things. There always seems to be something that can go wrong.
Well,
and we don't know what that something is yet.
Exactly.
So if you don't know what, we know it probably will go wrong or will change. And if we don't know the outcome, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Here's a little sneaky
Okay.
stuff for you
All right.
guys. In 2028, food will be different from anything you've tasted before. And why is this? Because new flavors are always arriving on the scene. Scientists are coming up with new. But guess where all this innovation is happening? Silicon Valley, well known for attracting the brightest minds, it's becoming the global hub for food innovation.
It's also
Well,
a global hub for vegetarianism.
it's also the global hub for let's decide that meat eating or animal foods are bad so that we can create all your frankenfoods for you and make a lot of money. And since the wife of the founder of Google's the man that owns Google, his wife I think is the founder of DNA 23andMe. They're sharing the genetic data. So yeah, it's
Well,
you
I
can
found
put your
this
figure that out.
Yeah, the startup company that is making waves is called Impossible Foods, which has created a meat-free burger that sizzles in the pan, tastes like meat, and bleeds. Designed to be sustainable and environmental friendly, the patties are made with wheat protein, coconut oil, potato protein, and flavoring. The secret ingredient is heme, or heme.
Heme, the oxygen-carrying molecule that makes both meat and blood red, and it seems to give meat much of its flavor. The heme that Impossible Foods uses has been extracted from plants and produced using fermentation.
It's interesting that they use the fermentation to get it so it actually can be consumed by us in a rather more healthy way. And it would enhance the taste naturally.
This is a growth industry.
Yes,
as we mentioned, there's a big movie coming out called The End of Meat. So now you know why why documentary is going to be created to create this thing that we really don't need meat, because we've got these Silicon Valley brainiacs creating frankenfood for us.
And there's another thing too, of course, with the whole thing of man wanting land, we tend to decimate the wild areas and make them into domestic areas. And when we do that, we kill a lot of native species. And what takes its place is these species that we kind of go along with us. Which at the top of the chain might be the cows and everything like that. The bottom chain are the rats and the mosquitoes and the cockroaches and all that, the bottom feeders that come out because of this too. So I think it's a bad thing. I think we should be making more areas wild. I think we should be going the other way. And with today's technology, I think it's much, much better to do that method than to do a method like this.
Well, I can explain to you why this is happening, because we have a movement. We know, we listened to David Dubine, Adapt 2030, in the coming cold ice age where it appears we're heading. But there's also the Agenda 2030, which was Agenda 2020 or 2017 or something, but it fell behind. But if you saw the movie The Hunger Games, the plan is to move the human animals into human settlements where they can eat the frankenfood. And the
kind of have that already.
Well, that's the plan.
Yeah.
That's why you're seeing all this growth of urban sprawl. Get the people into their little cubby holes in other countries. They're living in like 300 square foot little apartments. Have the people eat the frankenfood. Create the situation that natural food is not good, and reclaim the wildlands for the elites, and then the Hunger Game people will be in their cities. This is the big plan.
I don't like that plan.
Well, start reading it, because that's what's happening.
Folks, stick around. Please take time to pick up our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, with all the ingredients you need to stay healthy. We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back to the show.
We're talking about frankenfood.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're talking about what will happen in like 10 years from now. And today, about 40% of all adults are overweight or obese, and every single nation on earth is getting fatter. Obese-related...
Oh, make us feel guilty here.
Yeah, that's right. Obesity-related diseases such as type 2 diabetes are soaring on a trajectory that will cripple many health services.
The reason we have that is because these same people that are creating this new food for us, Silicon Valley is the same group of people that created all these devices and lights and all of that. So see, they've created the problem there.
So one of the short-term solutions is to re-engineer the caloric junk food to have less fat, sugar, salt, and fewer calories while still giving them some satisfaction. This is the stuff that really makes me cringe, because when we're talking about putting nutrition into food, and here they're talking about taking it out of it and really just worrying about if you're satisfied or not, and trying to trick our hormones.
Talk about, you know...
So most of this stuff is kind of like the magician type of thing. We're putting stuff in here, we're taking stuff out of here. If fat is nutritious, why would we want to take it out?
Because they're not, this group of people, this article is in one of these, anytime you see these sites that are like Real True Science, or Science Focus, or Today's Science, these guys are the paid pundits to start creating the new thought. So what is this article doing, which I don't agree with? I think there's nothing better than getting back to real food, real stuff. This is starting to create the idea that we're fat and we're guilty and we need science to make better food for us, and that the real food is not for us. And we've got movies coming out to support this agenda, like The End of Meat. I think this is going to be very damaging, and yet, you know, watch the movie The Hunger Games and you'll see they're going to just kind of get us into where this is what you get. These are your rations. These are the things you can choose from.
It's funny how movies seem to do that. I remember when 3 Mile Island was the year before that the China syndrome came out.
Well, they always tell us in advance what they're going to do.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way.
Hollywood is part of the plan. They basically are their job is to forecast, because that's a form of consent that we don't even know of. We already knew it was coming. We do not consent to these things.
So the thing with these types of articles, of course, they're trying to get us comfortable with it. That's what these articles are doing, right? And this is one of 15 I found, because when I saw that vending machine, I says to myself, okay, what's the future of food? So I did a little Google search and I came up with like 15 different articles that tell us about the future of food, and some of them are real positive, saying, you know, we are creating some wild areas in certain areas like Alaska and things where people are still hunting and things like that.
But those wild areas won't be for the average humans.
No, in fact, taking it away. That's what the article was based on, is that
the
for
handlers
years,
will have access to those
right.
foods.
In fact,
but
there's
the
a whole
people will eat this crap.
Let me finish. There's a whole section of the northern Alaska area which people have been homesteading for years that will be closed after their children are gone. Nobody can move in there anymore. So they're already doing this in Alaska right now, but of course they're wanting this set aside for what? For oil production, for making synthetic food, maybe. Who knows what they're doing it? But they're getting the people out of there and not allowing to hunt anymore, and that's what gets me. And this will be happening all over the United States. It's harder and harder to find places to hunt.
Yeah, so this is how they're going to engineer the food experience, guys. Today, you might hear James Blunt crooning to your favorite eater inside your favorite eatery, but in the restaurant of 2028, there might be aromatic mists. You know, maybe giving you the real smell of a steak or something.
Instead of the junk you're eating.
Yeah, subtle sound effects and controlled lighting, all optimized to make your steak and chips taste better than you thought possible, because they may not actually be those things. At home, augmented reality headsets that superimpose digital imagery on the real world could offer a tranquil seascape when you're having your seafood for a fish dish, or the wilds of Texas for barbecue ribs.
I can see my wife saying, "Honey, how's your steak?" And I'm saying, "Well, it's kind of tough and it doesn't taste quite right. Boy, it smells really nice in here, though."
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's kind of weird, but of course, if you have really good food and then enhance the environment, that's a really good thing. But if you're trying to cover up the food, that's another thing, right?
Well, it's all going to be Frankenfood, is what it looks like to me. Unusual processed foods will make a splash in the years to come, guys. And these may include edible sprays, algae protein snack bars, beer made with wastewater. And I believe that, because right now, you know, Deborah Tavares, the activist, she runs the site primarywater.org. There is no water shortage, people. We have, the earth makes new water all the time. This is all a big bogus thing to get us to agree to drink wastewater.
Well, of course, it's the water falling from the sky may be tainted too because of what's in the sky.
Well, the primary water isn't, so we need to get up to speed with Deborah's work, because she's the cutting edge person. I mean,
well, I agree with you. There's no shortage of water. It's been raining more than ever everywhere on Earth.
But the primary water is water that the earth makes repeatedly. Yeah. It's available, and that's why they don't want the average person to have a well. You need to get a well in your yard.
I'm not allowed to anymore.
Of course you're not allowed to. They don't let you.
I'm allowed to have a well that goes down 15 feet, shallow well only. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want us to have the primary, but they tell us, just like, you know, it's all an upside down story. You know, here's some other things that you might expect. Lollipops are designed to cure hiccups. You might tell your child, "Oh, you've got the hiccups? Oh, let's go get you a sugar-laden lollipop."
Of course, we're also talking the future is about printable food with these devices. So
I do not understand this whole 3D printing thing. Would you please explain that to me?
Well, you take a raw material, and that raw material
Like what? Give me an example so I can visualize.
It's like a plastic.
Okay.
Okay, and you put a design in the machine of some plastic little tinker toy or whatever it is, and it'll reproduce that and reproduce it over and over, just like a printer. It's a 3D printer, so it's a little cage. It's kind of like a transporter beam, only it's a printing thing, so it'll print it, goes back and forth. And
out pops a three-dimensional version of it.
Right now they're talking about guns. They're talking about printing guns, you know, made out of plastic. So, yeah, the technology is there, and they think...
But is it always plastic?
Well, it's whatever material you can print.
So how are they going to print food?
Well, I mean...
Is it going to be plastic food?
It already is.
Exactly. But my point is, this is just too wacky.
Yeah.
Oh, God, this is so sick. I mean, to me, this is just way too weird. Cookbooks in 2028, folks, will have some weird recipes, no doubt. By analyzing foods for their flavor compounds, aroma-carrying substances that convey flavor, ingredients can be paired to create novel experiences. A lip-smacking highlight was, in this one study they did, was clementine upside-down cake with a dab of basil and pistachio pesto, crowned with a scoop of olive oil gelato. Well, it sounds to me, I'm not against using different pairings, but it sounds to me like it's going to become a chemical soup. Yeah. These aren't going to be real olive oil. As we know, they're already taking our real olive oil
Well,
from us.
and if you've watched Star Trek, you know the transporter beam has the little food thing that you can just boop, 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 and whatever's there will molecularly be equivalent to what was your real food. And if that technology becomes available, then yeah, I'd probably be for it. But we're so far from that right now. This is where we're at. Stick around, folks. We've still got a little time.
The future of food.
Yeah.
It's
Please
not
pick
for
up our
you
Health
or me.
Signals newsletter, folks. It's only $10 a month. You get 2 issues on the first and third Tuesday of the month. So pick that up right away. We'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Other site, which was talking about 8 futuristic foods we'll be eating in 30 years. Now, if you went back to like 1,000 years ago and you showed somebody like a Dorito.
Yeah, they'd say, what the heck is that? I mean, I don't think anybody, much of the food that we eat today would be recognizable to people 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
For sure.
Even in the turn of the century, if you gave somebody Kellogg's cornflakes, they go, ugh.
But listen, guys, food's about to get a lot weirder, and scientific research doesn't just bring us more convenient and cheaper food options, but the hope of overcoming sustainability issues. See how the stage is being set?
Yeah. That
we need to accept these frankenfoods? Look here, this says, the meat industry plays a huge role in climate change. Greenhouse, again, guilty for eating the foods that we, evolved to eat.
So does that mean that the domestic animal causes global warming, but the wild ones don't?
Right. Yeah, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense, right?
All right, and so we're going to go through 8 foods that they will be steering us towards. And the first one I want to make the comment is the only one that doesn't seem weird to me.
Yeah, which is bugs, which
Yeah.
we've been eating for generations.
I truly believe we ate bugs. I think that, that was part of our diet, our
And
natural
most kids
diet.
do.
Yeah, and hopefully they get out there and have a bug
Okay,
here
the
or
second
there.
one is the lab-grown meat, and we've seen this.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
Scientists, listen to this. Memphis Meat and Mosa Meat are looking to conquer cattle troubles by patterning stem cells into animal tissue and using that tissue as a synthetic meat.
Yeah.
I don't like that. How about this one?
Farm fish.
Well, go ahead.
Farm fish is something we already see, of course, and we know when we crowd the fish together, they get diseases, then we have to give them antibiotics. Not good living conditions. If you're in a house with 10 people, you're not going to be as healthy as if you're living with just one person.
And most fish don't have access to corn and soy, so I don't want to eat.
They don't farm?
Exactly.
Okay.
Here's a weird one. Listen to this. Fake fish.
Yeah.
How about this? There's a company that is creating, they're dipping goldfish muscle into fetal bovine serum, and this process is used by the fake meat makers as well. Another company, New Wave Foods, is looking to create synthetic shrimp out of red algae. This goes on and on.
Doesn't sound too
Algae,
delicious to me.
GMO, everything. Folks, let's get a return to real food, live a primal lifestyle, and pay attention. We'll see you next show.
Bye-bye.
Have a great
Thanks
day.
for sticking around.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.